Hello, everyone. So this would be our third or maybe fourth or fifth workflow available for us on the demo server. So you can take it with your end customers. First and most important, always our workflows will start with the term event so that we take it whenever there is an event. You can see over here that we have added some new stuff coming with version 7.1. In the next videos, we're going to explain it. It's very amazing. But for now, our workflow is for the banking KYC. You'll have different one, but we can just go over this one. This workflow will simulate the scenario of an application form for a certain bank. We're going to take these documents, we're going to read them, and we're going to take a decision on them. So it's a very simple workflow. I'll open it, and just to mention the very important thing to mention during our demo. So first and most important, this workflow will have the classification step. It will have the intelligent OCR. It will have a script, a little bit of scripting to take decisions and as well to maneuver on the document itself. Okay, so there will be new features or some features demonstrated in this kind of workflow that will come to answer, or it will show the capability to amend and to put the decision that we take on the document directly on the image, on the PDF. Okay, and this is very important because we need to highlight these features in terms of redaction, in terms of stamping, in terms of giving additional visual features to the document based on the decision. So these will come automatically from the workflow on the document based on whatever decision it will be taken. And then it will go for indexing with the client or with the user for the final decision, and we export. As always, workflows are very dynamic. We can create any workflow, we can reject, we can amend, we can send back, whichever it is. The second point is that this workflow will come with these sample documents. Over here, we have application forms. However, in an extended workflow, which you can request for or we can provide you, we can upload the application form with the identity card of that applicant in order to conclude on additional, for example, this is a driving license, in order to conclude that his name or their name is inside the application and that there is no conflict whatsoever on the KYC, which maybe I should have started the statement with this. KYC is know your customer process. Okay, it's whenever we are onboarding anyone, whether in banking or in telecom or whichever, and we want to check if they are eligible for whatever they are applying for, as a loan, as a credit card, as a new bank account, as a SIM card, as to be admitted or to be taken on board in university, whichever the onboarding is. So KYC is a process for different verticals and segments. In our case, we're going to highlight it for the banking. So our documents, and another thing about this flow is to explain that we're going to take several documents together, PDF or non-PDF, it doesn't matter, and we're going to upload them. Okay, so these sample documents, please request them. Over here, you will see I'm already inside a certain sample, but I'm going to start everything from scratch. This card changes yes, and then I'm going to sign out. And this is how we need to start always, always, always with our clients in the demo. So we start, we tell them how they can log in. We highlight that logging in could be through single sign-on, could be through any authentication, or could be directly through username and password. We need to highlight as well that Info Input has the module of user access management, access control, defining who sees what. Take them through the interface as usual, highlighting over here all these buttons. These buttons, what do they do? The shortcuts over here, the inboxes in here, highlight these statistics, what do they mean? And that at certain point we can create, not certain point, like as an extension, we can create certain dashboards and everything. And most importantly, always, always, always try to do search over here. What do they do? And the filtering, and that directly we have access. As usual, highlight the refresh, highlight the batch manager, highlight the shortcuts, highlight the languages, not to go through everything, but make sure they get acquainted with the interface and they know their way around so they become more familiar. Next step is to click on this one, and I'm going to go to the event, bank KYC scenario, or I can select another one. Let me check on this, create and scan, and then we go to the sample documents so that we start working on them. This I might cut, and hopefully I can do it in a very fast way, but in case not, I will edit it. All right, samples. banking, and I will take all the application forms, Ernest, Henry, 20. Okay, you can take them all, it doesn't matter. It will upload, it will convert, and it will start working. Now, very important to show the customer the application forms to tell the story, what will happen. So I'm going to take you through this while the documents are being uploaded with my connection. So every application form will come through with all the information and the data. It doesn't matter if this is handwritten or this is typed. It doesn't matter. You need to highlight this. The process is that we're going to take these applications. Some of these applications will be redacted. Very important to mention this. Why it will be redacted? Because based on the banking compliance and the general regulations, sometimes the operator or the clerk at the bank should not see certain information. All right. This is the first and most important. Whenever these documents come by email or come through the website or come through an onboarding clerk, some people inside the bank should not be able to see their annual salary or the amount they're going to place to open this account, because it will affect their judgment. Over here, regardless of how we position this feature or in the workflow, it's very important to highlight this to our customers so that they think about certain use case that they can apply this feature inside. Now, redaction will happen automatically. However, the system will still take and extract the information after or prior or after the redaction. So on the screen, you will not see some areas. However, info input will still extract these information and work on them. Okay. Before I continue, so this is the data. I have a little bit of latency on my connection. I will upload it to the server, and then we're going to come back and see what will happen. So we take them through these application forms. We tell them that we're gonna read X, Y, Z. We're gonna take decision whether they are valid or not. So are we gonna open the account for them? Are we gonna accept them, yes or not? This decision will appear inside the metadata, and as well it will appear inside the PDF. Okay, so the PDF will be redacted. It will give directly on the PDF level the decision of the system. Okay, and as well we're gonna read everything from these application forms. Okay. Last but not least, the CRM of banks or the core banking system will accept data based on groups, okay, or based on, yeah, let's call it groups to make things easier. So these groups will appear as well visually inside our indexing form, and we will see it just in a bit. Most importantly, when we talk about the visual impression or the visual stamping on automatically done on the PDF, we need to explain it a little bit more. Okay, so please go through the demo and explain this a little bit more, that usually it is done new batches today, it's already completed. We can do it manually, but for the sake of first and most important, for the sake of data integrity and for the sake of compliance and we're gonna do these visual interactions automatically from the back end. And most importantly, that these visual interactions like the stamping could be more dynamic. If the client would like to have their logo inside with the date dynamic and we can do it. If they want to change color, if they want to put the name of the approval, if they want to do anything, all of this is possible with a little bit of scripting, but long story short, it is possible. Okay. So once this is a very straightforward use case, the most important is to ask question and to explain more and more so that our end customer, whoever we are engaged with, they will open their mind and they will relate to internal use cases. Now we look into the first and most important. Before you go into the stamping and the redaction, make sure that if your system would like to have data in packages or in groups, we can do this. Of course, it doesn't need to show in the front end interface, but from our side in this, we are showing it in the front end interface. Okay, so the grouping of the, for example, the ID type is the driving license, the ID number, blah, blah, blah. All of this is taken from previous database. So very good to highlight these taken from the CRM already. If this is not in the CRM, then this will not show over here. It will say, please upload driving license. Okay. Next is all of this information will be grouped and sent to the CRM or to the database directly based on the requirement of the core banking system. Contact details will be taken as well as another group to be sent. A proof of identity will be just for checking. Next is the status. This is an automatically generated index field, which is based on the decision. So in this case, we are taking a decision based on several criteria, the credit score, the nationality, a lot of things together, the age, the salary. This will be an auto calculation that we can conclude and implement in the back end without anyone knowing, okay? So the clerk or the operator or the branch manager will see a certain decision, and this decision will come on the PDF, which you see over here, approved or not approved, and it will show as an index field in here, and we can add as well the reason. If we jump to the second document, you can see rejected due to location. Okay, so this guy is Ernest and Young. He's from Singapore. Long story short, we can show as well their credit score in the front end interface, any calculation that we are doing, but the status is rejected. On the screen as well, you see that the stamping has been done, redaction has been done as well, and for the sake of the demo, we are showing that the system was already capable to capture the information before the redaction. So this very easily in the back end, we can do hide index field. It will show on the database, it will show as metadata, it will show wherever we want it to show. But for the operator, they will not be able to override this decision based on their knowledge. So for example, they are coming from a non-compliant process. So the system is rejecting them. However, they are willing to put a deposit, which is 200 million or something, or their salary is pretty impressive. So I want to accept them in my branch. This will not be allowed. By default, it will be hidden. We will not allow this branch manager to view, tick, all of these things. Additionally, it is very important to highlight that the stamp, the redaction, any layer that comes on the PDF, it is optional to save it in the final location with these visual interactions or not, full or partial. In other terms, I can still keep the rejection, but remove the redaction. I can keep the redaction, but remove the stamping, whichever it is. Keep in mind that the decision is always available as metadata. We are doing this just to show that in case you would love to lock the PDF as well with the decision, other than the metadata, just in case someone took or opened the document without looking into the metadata, they can as well see that this is rejected. Just in case someone pulled it from one place, put it in the other, regardless of the index field or the folder or the image location on the file system, it will have the stamp with the final decision, and we can enrich it with the reason, and it doesn't matter. Okay, so over here we have the first one, the second one, the third one is approved, the fourth as well is approved, so on and so forth in here. And if you look at the classification, because in this main workflow you can insert the ID as well to enrich, you can have it in here. Okay, whenever you do this demo, please tend to show that these features are available in a manual way. In addition to the automatic way, we can do a lot of things automatically or in a manual. The redaction, this is the manual redaction, not a problem. We do this, but for the sake of the workflow and the use cases and whatever the client needs, we bring it into the business process to protect and to remain compliant with this specific use case. This is long story short, the story of this workflow for KYC. You can explain it on the level of university or level of insurance. For a bank, please keep in mind that the banking system or the banking organization, they have different divisions. So whoever is applying for a credit card might be dealing with a different, as if a separate company. Okay, different division, different decision makers, even though he is the same person, versus applying for a bank, a new account number, or he would like to open an offshore account, or he would like to have any other service or product from the bank as loan, as mortgage, whichever. Every single product might have their own proper decision making, their own proper budget, their own proper entity inside the bank. So it's very important whenever we talk inside the bank with the stakeholders, we position it for them, whether it's for credit card, loan, at XYZ. The same thing applies for insurances, it applies for education sector, it applies for government. This process as know your customer or know your citizen or know your applicant is valid across several sectors, and we need to take it through based on whoever we are sitting with. Of course, this workflow you can copy paste, change the application, make it for a university, make it for an insurance, whichever it is. We can add over here the products. For example, inside here, we can tick the box, which product are you applying for? Are you applying for a credit card, a loan, a mortgage, blah, blah, blah. And based on this, we can enrich the workflow more to check if the supporting documents are available for that product, and as well route it accordingly to the head of division related to that product. Please repeat this video on again and again to take all these notes in and to be able to explain it to your end customer whenever you are facing them. During the certification process, we're going to double check if you are covering all these points, because they are very important to make sure our positioning is correct, not only from features perspective, but as well from business process perspective. And even though we are showing a simple process demonstrating the strength of the platform and the hidden features and how we can use simple features to look into in depth what we can do in terms of compliance and adherence to these organizations and what their requirement is. As well, there is a lot of enrichment that we can do easily to cater for more and more and more. Last but not least, very important to mention how easy this process was, how fast this process was, how we can leverage the power of extraction, classification, decision making, and cut down all this process or this manual process that is available in these entities, thus making employees work less with more efficiency, assigning their time to more strategic tasks, and thus the ROI of their investment in this technology. I hope you enjoyed this. Again, more videos will come. This workflow is event banking KYC available on the demo server. Samples, please request them, and we will see you with another video after this, hopefully.